You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome in, everybody, to Sim Racing Media. Tonight, the drivers of the SCL Weekly Racing Series are back with something a little bit different. Tonight, we're going to see some mini stock action here at New Smyrna Speedway. I'm Mike Timoni in the booth. Joined with me is Shane Lake. Shane, man, how's it going?
Man, from the place that starts the motorsports year off, we got ourselves some mini stock action. This feels like a typical Wednesday night short track event. I'm too used to seeing it from places like Wiscasset and Oxford Plains up here in Maine. Now we get to see it in the virtual world. I'm ready to see some action. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, qualifying is pretty much wrapped up. Everybody's made their laps here, so looks like Josh Terryhill is still sitting on the track. But right now, Adam Lowe is at the top of the board with a 20.13. It is a little bit of a smaller field here to kick things off tonight, but don't worry, we still have the trucks coming in about 45 minutes or thereabouts. So we'll see how quick this race goes and how they can get around here with these mini stocks. We saw them in practice. They were pretty tough, beating and banging. Even with this small field, it's going to be some pretty good racing action here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the wet the whistle, this is a little appetizer to the main event later tonight. So stick around. The action from Florida is just heating up. I don't know what he's trying to do, but I don't think these things can really burn out. There he goes. I guess if you can burn out in a Mazda MX-5, you can burn out in these things.
Definitely a little different seeing him trying to get the Buick there.
A Fox-bodied Buick, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Only in iRacing could you see a Fox-bodied Buick.
Oh, they are having fun, though.
Oh, yeah. That's the name of the game with this, man. It's just having fun. I mean, that's why I love driving the lower division cars like the street stocks and stuff like that. Is I just go down to have fun, and some of the best racing I've had has actually been in the lower division cars. So, you know, that's what it's all about.
Definitely. So qualifying session has finally wrapped up here. Those guys got in and out really quick. Didn't waste any time, but we'll get them gridded up as it goes to the nighttime here. See if we can go through the field momentarily. We'll have.
I saw this earlier, but that 9 is rocking a Chevy SS decal kit. This must be their new downsized coupe.
Yeah. We got Adam Lowe and Adam Brady going to be on that front row. We got Chris Myers and Mike Rinker in row 2. Row 3 is going to be Josh Hill and Dakota Burrow. So small field, but as we saw when they were out practicing, they can race these cars.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And even though it's a short track, these small cars, I wouldn't be surprised if a little bit of drafting comes into play in, you know, setting up, trying to get around somebody, because if you can get that run off of 2 and then draft up off of somebody, you can shove it into 3 a little bit deeper and actually force them up out of the bottom. But speaking of forcing things, I think the green flag looks like, nope, pace car stays out for one more.
I'm going to say it looked like it was getting ready to pull off, but one more lap here. Saw Adam Lowe working pretty hard in practice. He's been one of the faster cars all night. Josh Hill out there as well. He was up there towards the front. These guys are going to be drafting, beating, banging, having some action here as they get this season started. Season 39 for the weekly series as well.
Yeah, 39 seasons, that's a lot. And these cars, as tough as they are, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of chrome is used up by the end of the night. Now the pace car is in. And the green flag is out. We're racing from New Smyrna.
Just like I said, Adam Lowe gets that good run. Not to be outdone. Adam Brady hanging tough there in P2, side by side with the 9 of Mike Rinker.
All right, a little bit of contact. The 9 gets shoved up high. We've already finished lap 1. These laps are going to click off at about 20 to 20 and a half seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be quick if they mind their P's and Q's tonight.
Yeah, we've seen them beating and banging, bouncing off of each other, and keep going in the right direction. So they definitely can use each other if they have to. But this is some action here as Adam Lowe wasn't the fastest car that time. Adam Brady took that honor with a 20.17.
Yeah, that's the effectiveness of the draft. These guys might only be running about 200 horsepower in these cars, but you're still punching a big enough hole that you can actually pick up still a couple mile an hour on your competition. And that's why right now we see this single file conga line. Just kind of feeling each other out right now. Let the tires get up to temp.
Yeah, everybody's kind of hanging on here. Looks like got Mike Rinker, Josh Hill, and Dakota Burrow. Basically all just kind of sitting still, not really moving too much. Logging laps here. It is a short race, but there's still 25 more laps to go, so still quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I think these guys are probably going to start getting racy here once we get past halfway. And again, this has that typical short track feel to it. Your weekly divisions, what do you normally see? These guys log laps, and they don't usually worry about messing with each other until the second half of the event, because why screw up your chances early and show your hand when you might have a little something saved up for them later on?
Yeah, definitely. As we're seeing a little battle start to kind of come into play here, back for P2. Chris Myers is all over the back of the 21 of Adam Brady, kind of drafting along, seeing what he can do here. Down to the inside he goes.
Well, not far enough alongside to make that move stick. I would have preferred making that move a little bit further down the back straightaway before trying to shove it into 3, because you want to be a little further alongside somebody, try to get that run up off the corner. But, with the high side in these cars, you're keeping your RPMs up, you'll be able to drag them out off the corner.
Yeah, definitely something you want to take note of here. I mean, you just want to kind of try it out maybe this early in the race, see what you need to do, see how late you can try and pull out, because these cars do draft a little bit in this track. So if you can get just a little bit of help, pull out beside them right before corner entry and get down to the bottom before they do, you stand a much better chance to make that pass on corner exit.
Yeah, and I'm noticing with Brady in the 21 car, he seems to be kind of entering the corner a little bit higher than most guys, and then just diamonding the corner. He pulls the car down a little bit later, and then he's getting that run up off the corner, kind of straightening it a little bit more. So that's kind of the way he's been able to keep the speed up in that 21 car.
Yeah, now we have a battle back here for 5th place. Tarrant Hill and Burrow were side by side for a little bit. Basically the same thing that happened with Chris Myers. Chris Myers trying to make that run, wasn't able to complete it, and now Dakota Burrow trying to do the same thing to Josh and not quite getting it, but Josh stays up high. Burrow goes down to the bottom, going to make that, I was going to say going to make that pass, but he did not have the momentum to do that.
No, once again, that's proven, again, these cars, for those of you that are new to watching mini stocks, they've only got a couple hundred horsepower in these 4-bangers, so they're not producing a lot of power. So the more you're able to keep the RPMs up and keep your momentum up, the better off you are. So running the high side for that 10 wasn't exactly going to hurt him in that battle. So, good job keeping that 19 behind him. So see how this keeps shaking out later on.
Yeah, exactly. They're still battling around here. Myers is going to try it again. Alongside a little bit better this time.
Yeah, he pulled out a little bit sooner. As soon as he caught that inside line, there he goes. He's using up he got a little hip check in there to take the position. That's what you got to do with these cars. I mean, they're tough enough to take it. If you got to hip check somebody, you can't be afraid to do it.
No, definitely not. As they're able to get that position. The only position change on the track right now.
Yeah, we're 15 laps into this 30 lapper, so next time by is going to be halfway. It's not surprising seeing, this race click off as fast as it has been.
Yeah, definitely not, as they are definitely rolling through here as fast as they can. Everybody keeping those cars tuned up. You see them get to barely 100 miles an hour before they have to get right back on the brakes on corner entry.
I don't even think they're using a whole lot of brake pedal. I think it's just kind of lifting and coasting the car, because you don't want to use a whole lot of brakes with these things. I mean, granted, they're not, like super, the super late models or anything.
Yeah, you can see what Adam Lowe's doing, how fast he gets down. He gets down to 73 through the middle of the corner, right back on the throttle. And he'll get up to almost 100 or barely clip 100 there before he's back off the throttle again.
Yeah, and these guys are really singing these motors right now, because you can hear them. This reminds me a lot, the sound of this motor reminds me a lot of the old Busch Series V6s. The way they were singing at Daytona, like right at the top of the red line. That's what this reminds me a lot of.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that. You can hear them just getting wrapped all the way up and then letting off not even all the way, maybe 3/4 throttle, and then right back on it again.
Yeah, they're just using it to keep the momentum going, but at the same token, they're also kind of letting the weight of the nose transfer in so they can have the front grip on the tires. And speaking of front grip, they tend to smack the fence.
The battle brewing up here as well.
Yeah, looks like Brady and Rinker are going at it a little bit. Rinker trying to get that inside line going, just can't make it stick. Gonna have to try to come back at him again next time around.
It looks like once you get momentum, if you try and make that move and it's not there, you lose all momentum and have to, regroup a couple car lengths back again.
Yeah, you got to reset a little bit. You got to be decisive with the move, or else you're gonna have to reset and spend the next 3-4 laps attacking. And that's just the nature of the beast with short track racing in general, let alone with a car like this. As we're getting ready to approach, 12 laps to go. Now you got to start pulling the pin out and start making moves.
Yeah, we got 7 laps to go here. And Adam Lowe is pretty much putting on a clinic. He's almost out to a second lead over Chris Myers. Adam, Brady, Mike Rinker were battling for a little bit, but it looks like that's settled down just a hair. See if Rinker can reel him in here with 6 to go.
I don't know. It's going to take a little bit. He's going to have to try to reset and establish that inside line. And what he's going to want to do is he's going to want to try to get that fender just inside that left rear quarter panel, so he can have that inside line and just force that 21 up just a little bit and try to make that move stick. You might try to get it done in turn 3.
Driving in deep, trying to get the momentum here. Slides up behind him, going to stay with him.
Yeah, he's looking now. He's going to try to set this up. He's right on the bumper. He might actually try to shove him into the corner a little bit deeper than what he wants. Oh, there's your crossover right there. There it is.
I was going to say he was setting him up a couple laps. They're beating and banging off of each other's door.
There's the high line paying off. There's the high line paying off. Prime example. Brady was able to hold him off with that high line. As the 9 gets really crossed up, that may cost him getting 3rd.
Yeah, 2 laps to go now.
This is pretty much all but done for Adam Lowe in the 58, because all he's got is daylight in front of him as the popsicle sticks are down. The white flag is up. We're getting ready to run to the checkers here at New Smyrna.
And nobody is touching that 58 machine. He's had it dialed in all night. Halfway through, coming through 3 and 4, and Adam Lowe is going to win here to kick off the season in these mini stocks. Chris Myers, and it looks like Adam Brady's going to hold on just barely to get 3rd.
Oh, just enough to get 3rd. Dakota Burrow and Josh Terrett Hill will round out your field tonight. But that 58 was on a rail all race long. Oh, I wonder if these boys are available for me to get down there for an interview real quick. As Adam burns it down. Again, as I said earlier, if you can burn down with a Mazda MX-5, you can burn down with these things. Trust me, I've actually done it. It just takes some doing to do it. You just got to figure out the right RPM and then just dump it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here if I can get you 3rd place up here in the booth. All right, there you go, Shane.
Yo, Adam, it's Shane and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy? Hey, Adam, it's Shane and Mike in the booth. You got a copy, buddy? I don't think he's here. I mean, he's here, but I don't hear anything out of him.
Oh. Who else we can grab?
Oh, you gotta love the start to the season. You gotta have a little bit of scuff.
That's all right.
I think the race winner might be available.
If we can move him up to the booth. All right, try that.
Hey, Chris, it's Shane and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
My man, talk about a good start to the season, P2 in these things. What's it like running these mini stocks around a place like New Smyrna, and how smooth of a ride was it for you out here?
Overall, it's a pretty good run. These cars, at least here, I haven't ran them very much, but here they don't have much grip. They want to slide into the corners. You can't really get them to turn, so you really got to muscle it around the track. But they're a whole lot of fun, so I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys were having a whale of a time trying to get them to stick to the bottom, but we also saw the top line become a little bit more prevalent. How big was the momentum coming off of these corners with these cars?
Yeah, definitely you could carry a lot of momentum on the high side. I think if you were to get side by side with somebody, the high side normally would come out on top. I did get a pretty good run on Adam there. I kind of chopped his nose off. He gave me a break there to take second, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a nice little battle and you were able to settle in towards the end of it. Before we let you go, man, who helps you get it done on that 24 you want to thank?
Definitely the landscape company, WJM Motorsports. Who knows? We'll throw out there Kubota, Landon Coates. Definitely SCL for putting on the league, and you guys at Sim Racing Media for putting on the broadcast.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. Celebrate that P2 finish. We'll see you a little bit later for the truck race at Daytona.
All right, looking forward to putting on a show.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.
See if we can get the race winner up here.
Go to our race. Hey, Adam, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Hi, Mike. Good. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Well, not a bad way to start off the season. Short field, but you were able to get that 58 machine rolling here. How was it racing these mini stocks?
This is my first race in these. I've done some practice sessions before. These things are a blast. I don't know, it's kind of weird. They got a lot of grip, but they also don't have any grip at the same time. So I just focused on being smooth after I got the lead there, and no one ever really got to me. So I mean, I pushed at the end just for the hell of it, but man, that kind of made it easy for me at night.
I was gonna say once you got clear, it was pretty hard to pass. It seemed anyway. Only had a couple passes out of everybody here, but I can't wait to see what you guys can do with some of these other tracks coming up. How are you feeling about this weekly series going back and forth between the street stocks and those minis?
I'm excited for it. I like to switch it up, keep people on their toes a little bit from week to week. I don't know. It definitely keeps things interesting, I guess is the best way I can put it.
Definitely, man. Well, we will let you get out of here as soon as you give your thank yous and shout outs, and then we'll see what you can do coming up in the next race, which is the landscape company SCL Super Trucks from Daytona.
All right, yep, thanks. I'd like to thank my teammates, Josh and Adam. Kind of helped me figure a few things out. We all bounce notes off each other. And, of course, my sponsor, Colombo Properties. So thanks for hosting this, or broadcasting tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again.
Thank you.
All right, so go over the quick little race results here, and then we'll have a little bit of an intermission, probably 15 minutes or so, I'd say, before we get back at it. But yeah, SCL Weekly Racing Series, Adam Lowe, Chris Myers, Adam Brady are the top three. Then we have Mike Rinker, Dakota Burrow, and Josh Terrett Hill rounding out the field. If you guys want more action from these guys, don't be afraid to come join. I mean, these guys are fun to drive with. Broadcasts them almost every winter season they have. So if you or somebody you know wants to get involved, don't be afraid to hit them up here. I know they'll come through and look at the YouTube chat as well. So want to go ahead and do that. But Dane, what do you think of the mini stock so far?
First time really seeing these things in action, and it, like I said, it reminds me purely of what I grew up watching here on the local short tracks up in Maine with a lot of these cars. So I'm thrilled to see what type of show these guys are able to put on with these cars, but I'm also excited to see what happens here at Daytona in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. So if this is where we leave you, once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this mini stock event. Mike Damone, Shane Lake up in the booth. And if you're jumping off, well, we hope to see you next time. From all the drivers of the SCL Weekly Series and all of the Sim Racing Media, we'll hopefully catch you here in about 25 minutes.
See you guys soon.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tillman with the Landscape Company, and I'm here to tell you that we specialize in transforming both commercial and residential spaces into stunning landscapes. Whether you need a property maintenance, mulching, or expert design crew, we've got you covered. As a small family business, we pride ourselves in putting our customers first, and your satisfaction is our top priority. Ready to elevate your outdoor space? Call us today at 757-724-7097 for your free quote. And remember, when you call, tell them Tillman sent you. TLC VB, your trusted partner for all your lawn and landscape needs. What's going on, everybody? It's Tillman with the Landscape Company, and I'm here to tell you that we specialize in transforming both commercial and residential spaces into stunning landscapes. Whether you need a property maintenance, mulching, or expert design crew, we've got you covered. As a small family business, we pride ourselves in putting our customers first, and your satisfaction is our top priority. Ready to elevate your outdoor space? Call us today at 757-724-7097 for your free quote. And remember, when you call, tell them Tillman sent you. TLC VB, your trusted partner for all your lawn and landscape needs.
Welcome back, everybody, to SCL. This time we are at the Landscape Company Super Truck Series from Daytona. You guys just had a little preview of the Landscape Company a couple times through on our ad breaks there, but I'm Mike Timoni up in the booth. Joined with me once again is Shane Lake. Shane, man, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, the trucks here are going to be hitting about 190 miles an hour. We're going to see 2-3 wide action. The birthplace of speed will not let us down because we have known this place to be action-packed. There's going to be at least one pit stop, maybe two, depending on if there's a caution. You know, get a set of tires and try to make some moves towards the end of the race. But the big thing is, it's going to be under the lights. So there's going to be a lot of grip to be had here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. These guys are out on track, working through their qualifying efforts here. Qualifying at Daytona is one of the unique things that you have to do is on that first lap. You want to kind of, well, not seeing it here, but you want to try and get almost as high as you can to get as much momentum as you can built up into that truck. And then you want to turn left and keep it right on that yellow line as you go around.
Yeah, the big thing is, you'll see that dotted line up there towards the third groove. You'll basically want to keep your left side tires on that line for your first lap. And then as soon as you get the chance coming through the tri-oval, yank that wheel dead left and hug that line the entire way around. That's the best way to get a good lap around this place.
Michael Brooks, first time by, a 51.71. Looks like Mike Rinker will be the second one to pass through. See what he can do. A 51.89. Valvoline 10 Chevy of Josh Tarrant Hill here, rolling through. See what he can do first time by, and then we'll have like Michael Brooks is going to be finishing his second lap momentarily.
Oh, that paint scheme brings up so many memories for Johnny Benson right there. He almost had the 401, but that doggone 8 car had a motor unlike anything.
Michael Brooks went a little bit quicker than his first time, a 51.48. Rinker did as well, a 51.50. See Tara Hill come through 3 and 4 here, see what he can do.
Yeah, he's on pace, I think, to probably get sub 52, I think. He's a little bit too high for my liking coming through the corner there, so I don't know. Okay, I stand corrected.
44.
I stand corrected. What do I know?
'33 Toyota of John Chainbackler. First time by 51.63. Looks like he'll go a little bit quicker this time. Nope. 51.65, almost identical times.
Yeah, I don't think jumping on the apron coming to the line did him any favors.
51.54 for Eli. Raposa. Who else is out? Looks like Miles Morris. Going to be able to complete one lap. I don't think he'll get a second lap as we have about 30 seconds left in this qualifying session.
Well, he at least jumps up to the back of the field for those who took time, just under 52 seconds, but he ain't going to get a second lap in.
No, and it looks like Chris Myers, Tillman here, Douglas Henry, and Jacob Pettit are going to start at the tail end of the field here tonight.
Well, you know, that's not exactly a bad thing. I mean, kind of ride out where you want to be anyway. Saves you from having to drop to the back if you end up not wanting, you know, to be around up at the front if something gets a little bit sideways on you. So gives you a chance to kind of see what everyone else is going to do and make a strategy plan from there.
Yeah, definitely. As we do jump into the night time. We are set for 60 laps. They have one set of tires laying in the pits. But we'll go down to the track here. And get through the grid. Got Josh Terrett-Hill going to start on the pole, not in his truck yet. Michael Brooks starting outside row 1 in the Miller High Life 850. Mike Rinker and Eli Raposa going to start in row 2. John Chainbackler and Miles Morris in row 3. And we've got Chris Myers. Then we got Tillman Hewer, Douglas Henry, and Jacob Pettit rounding out the field.
If the 60-lap idea seems kind of, not so new to everybody, there's a reason for that. It's the same distance as the Gatorade Duels at Daytona, 150 miles. So it'll be interesting to see how they split this up. I mean, they could go 30 laps come in, because a tank of fuel in the trucks is roughly about 45 laps, maybe 50 if you're drafting well enough. So if you want to try to split things up and go that way, it's actually a lot easier of a strategy.
Yeah, especially with the field that we have here. Field of 10 trucks. You're probably going to be a safe bet that you can't rely on that caution to come out. So you're going to want to probably split it in half, just play it safe, maybe go a little bit over halfway just in case something happens towards the end of the race. But,
yeah,
just kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those, you think about it now, but then as the race goes on, well, maybe there's a plan B and a plan C. Like I said, that 10 truck brings back so many memories. I mean, I was just literally watching the 01 Pepsi 400, a couple of days ago, and seeing this paint job, I'm just instantly brought back to that race.
We got 7 drivers. Looks like 3 drivers started at some point during practice and then called it a day.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like Tillman, Douglas, and Jacob have decided to put the thing on the hauler for the day.
That leaves us with a field of 7, but it's Daytona.
Wacky things have happened. And it looks like the lights are off on top of the pace car, and I think I'm safe saying it this time. I think we're going green.
The lights are out. Drivers are anticipating that left-hand turn down pit lane from the pace car.
Which is about to happen right about now. The field is in the hand of Josh Terrett-Hill and Michael Brooks alongside. We got 60 laps of Daytona, and we're green.
And Terrett-Hill gets a pretty big push there from Rinker as they go side. I was going to say going to go side by side, but they didn't at the moment. Looks like Rinker's going to stay behind him. Michael Brooks lost a little bit of ground there back in second. He might have had a little bit of an issue at the beginning of the race there.
Or he got caught napping, one of the two, because the 10 and the 9 just took off like a couple of rockets right off the jump. So there had to be something working together with those two. But the field, just like always, accordions back up.
Yeah, now Terrett-Hill and Rinker side by side. Brooks trying to get to the back of Terrett Hill. Terrett Hill goes down. Brooks has to stay up high.
Yeah, right now that 10 is basically doing his best Dale Jr. impression, trying to make that thing 4 lanes wide. The problem is it's hard to do when you're running up at the top shelf. And here comes that Black Rifle Coffee number 9 of Mike Rinker taking over the lead.
Got side-by-side action, as always, at Daytona. As you see, Miles Morris looks like he went from the bottom to the top trying to get a little bit of a run. Michael Brooks had a connection issue there. Looks like he's back on track now. Got the 64 of Eli Raposa trying to push him towards the front.
Yeah, that Miller High Life scheme. Again, me being the old guy around here, dude, I love the Bobby Allison look.
And you can just see how fast these guys are once they got in the draft, too. I mean, they're under 50 seconds now. 49.55.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see these guys hitting anywhere close to 195, 196 miles an hour in the draft. And that's just how quick these trucks can suck up and just draft off of each other. The 850 seems to be having a little bit of a connection issue from time to time.
If we can. Oh. Usually the drivers can put in their hometowns there in that driver info and see if maybe they're in the affected area of that hurricane that's kind of coming through. We have a few guys down in Florida.
Yeah. And, you know, our hearts are with everybody down there because it's a big old mess. I mean, y'all cleaned up after one, and you're getting slapped by Milton, so trust me, we feel you.
Oh, and around we go. Rinker clear down to the inside. Raposa around.
Raposa just about flipped. I don't know if he did or not. I saw that thing on 2 wheels looking like he was about to go over.
Slow it down here.
Looks like that truck with the teal back end right here gets right into the back end of Raposa.
Yeah, it just goes down to the inside just a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a whole case of you're not clear, dude. And whack.
Rinker just sitting there minding his own business.
Yeah.
Stays down on the ground.
Yeah, it's never good when the truck turns sideways and the only thing you can see is their exhaust pipes. But at least it came down. It didn't look like there's any real damage to the truck, so you know, maybe just put a little bit of fuel in it and go on from there.
Oh, 5 laps in. We're stacked back up here.
Wasn't there a truck race, I want to say 2004 or 2005, somebody ended up flipping their truck completely over and drove it back to pit road without any part of the bodywork being affected. I mean, granted, there was a lot of suspension damage, but I think somebody completely flipped over and drove it back to pit road.
I think you're right. Well, everybody coming down pit lane.
Probably to get fuel to stretch the window. Now I'm curious.
Doesn't look like too much damage there to that 64. 33 slides through his pit box. Oh, 5 seconds for fuel.
Yeah, it's just getting it topped off.
Let's see here. Because we got nothing better to do.
Right. Let's see. Crawford drove his truck back after flipping in 2004. And I think it happened again in 2005.
Definitely. Hey, Eli, Mike up in the booth, man. How you feeling after that early race caution? Gotcha?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, that was a pretty hard left-hand turn out of nowhere there. How you feeling after that?
Well, luckily it was only 20 seconds of damage, and we do have a fast repair also, which helps.
Definitely.
But I didn't think the guy he kind of was trying to make it like 3 wide, I guess, there for a second. I don't know, a little early for that, I think.
Yeah, lap 5 is a little bit early for that, but you're able to not flip it over, keep it on 4 wheels. Didn't look like you hit any walls or anything, so like you got that thing fixed up. Now you're gonna have to start back towards the back, but small field. How do you feel this race is gonna play out now?
Actually, I think the racing could be a lot better with 7 with smaller group like this. I think if we all stay together, we can actually have a pretty good race. Because the draft is better with smaller groups like this, so we'll see how that goes. But I've raced with Josh Tarrant before a couple times, so if I can get next to him, I know he can hold it. He can hold the push and work with him.
Definitely, man. Well, I will get you back down in your channel here, but good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
All right.
It was Chad Chaffin I was thinking of for 2005.
Ah, I see.
Yes, just like on the sports show I do every morning, I do live research from time to time, people. I don't just blow smoke. Well, we got them locked up and ready to go again, ladies and gentlemen. And interesting that Josh is taking a high side here coming off for this restart.
Yeah, I think he pretty much looked to see who was going to be lining up behind him and just picked that line.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he knows that the 24, Chris Myers, is actually a pretty good pusher, so I think he'll be okay. It's just a matter of, how quick the bottom can get assembled compared to how quick the top can get assembled.
Well, not too much has changed. Just Chris Myers went up 4 spots here. See Eli Raposa on the high side, going to try and stay up there with Tarrant Hills where he wants to be. So we'll see how this all shakes out here.
The interesting thing is it's only 64 degrees outside at Daytona, so I'm telling you, these guys are going to have a lot of horsepower to play with these trucks. That's why we're seeing the speeds right around 196 in the draft as the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Hey, Barney, it's been a while since I've said this. You got that green flag ready for me? Good. Start waving it because we got the restart from Daytona.
Yeah, and just like you said, Chris Myers all over the back bumper there of Tarrant Hill, and they are out to almost a 2-car length lead. Because nobody else is really formed up here.
And that's the problem. You can't get too far out because once the field accordions and catches back up, you're sitting ducks. Case in point, that 9 is shoving the absolute daylights out of that 850 truck, and they just made their way right up to the lead. Wow. Yeah. Michael Brooks and Mike Rinker are sitting up here 1 and 2. You've got Josh Tarrant Hill, John Schoenbacher, Chris Myers, Eli Raposa, and Miles Morris, the 7 that are currently running in this field. And we got a little bit of slicing and dicing going on, but it seems like you've got Michael Brooks and Mike Rinker just hanging out together on the bottom. Right now, well, the smart thing that the 9 is doing is getting a little bit of fresh air on that front end because you can push with these trucks for a while, but then you got to start monitoring that motor temperature because You cannot let the thing overheat. You do that, and you're going to start having a lot of problems. So you can push for a while with these trucks, but at the same token, you got to know what the limit is to actually be able to push with these things. And right now, it seems like they're starting to get it figured out because they're starting to leave a little bit of a gap between each other. So they're getting it figured. So it's going to be a good thing for these guys.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like they are getting that figured out, as fastest lap was run by the car sitting in third, or the truck sitting in third on that high line with a 48.03. So looks like they're trying to get a little air to the nose, just enough to keep that engine temp right where it needs to be.
Yeah, because if you keep sucking up on the back end of that truck in front of you, you've got nowhere going to that front, because they don't have the grill package like what they used to back in the 2000s when these trucks first started running here. They've only got that little bottom grill at the bottom of the bumper. When you keep that covered up long enough, it's going to be a problem as the connection issues with the 850 continue.
Yeah, the 850 having some issues. Looks like he's going to go to the back, maybe call it a day. Not exactly sure where Michael Brooks is, but there's tons of people with weather issues going on, so.
Yeah. And that cycle will put the 24 of Chris Myers to the lead as we're getting ready to cross the line, lap 11.
So you got Chris Myers, Mike Ranker, saw them earlier in the mini stock race, and then you have Josh Hill and Eli Raposa on the high line. John Shanebackler closing in on the bottom, trying to get up there with the Rinker and Myers, trying to get that 3-car draft going.
And as I said earlier, with the temps the way they are, all of these trucks are bordering on 200 miles an hour in the draft. Yee.
And right now, I think they're going to try and maybe single file out just a little bit here, as it looks like Tarrant Hill slides in line, going to try and just draft around the track. And as I say that,
the curse is real, dude. The curse is real. But the one thing that I would be concerned about, if I was everybody else, is that, honestly, I'm looking at things right now, that 33 truck of Schellenbacher, 204 miles an hour last time by. That dude's got some speed in that truck, so I'd either work with him or bury him quick.
yeah, he's sitting in that, almost that sweet spot where he still has that draft in front of him, getting a little bit of a push there from the 723. He is just kind of hanging out here, not really trying to get up next to him, just kind of minding his patience here, just trying to, hang out, not really go anywhere.
And the big thing is, once again, getting air to the front end of that truck, so he's able to have the maneuverability and have that cool air getting to the front end. So he's saving the motor while still being able to, run 200, 205 miles an hour.
Tarrant Hill is coming back, looks like, with Raposa on the high side, so they're trying to work together. A little bit too much of a gap there at the moment, but if they can side draft a little bit, they'll be able to kind of hang tough on that high line with just those two trucks on that outside lane.
Yeah, and the good news is, being out there, again, we said this with the mini stocks, you can say it with the trucks as well. Being on the outside line, you're able to keep your momentum up. So if you're able to start side drafting guys, you're pulling them back towards you, and you're able to start making moves a lot quicker. And next thing you know, you're battling for a lead like what we've got right now.
trying to stay in line the best they can. Looks like the 9 and 24 are running almost identical lanes around the track, whereas Parrot Hill and the 64 Ford of Eli Raposa are just a little bit different, and that's kind of slowing them down. Not a lot, but enough that that 24 car is going to stay in front.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of moving around a little bit. You can see the 24 giving the 9 a little bit of air on that left front headlight. Probably just to let him get a little bit of handling, kind of let the truck drive a little bit better. But then the 9 just tucks right back in. You can see him darting around a little bit, trying to get a little bit of fresh air to the front end. Just to try to get a little bit more grip on those front tires so he can actually maneuver the truck where he wants to. But doing enough of that will actually break up the draft behind somebody and cause everybody to slow down.
And here comes Shane Backler on that bottom line, reeling it in once again. Seems like he almost has on-command speed here.
Yeah, I think he's only running probably 3/4 throttle, because the moment he lays the hammer down, he can just close right up on everybody.
Gave him a little shove almost in the wrong spot there to the 24. They kind of lose a little bit of momentum. Kind of Tarrant Hill gets going on the high side. The 723 jumps in line in between Hill and Raposa.
Yeah, and that's going to even these lines up a little bit more. And now we are basically running like what we did for the first couple of laps. Everyone's literally basically side by side. As the 9 skates up the hill a little bit, 24 try to go with him, and then just shuts the door. It's getting a little bit dicey out here now.
Yeah, it looked like the 24 saw that the 10 was getting a little bit of run, stuck his truck right in the middle, trying to take a little bit of that momentum away, and it looked like he did just that. The 9 not being able to slide up with him, but still, even with Tarrant Hill working the high lane, trying to get that run to lead a lap here, just hasn't been quite able to do it as of late.
No, he just hasn't. He's able to get the momentum to get close enough. He just hasn't been able to get to the door yet. Once he gets there, he's going to have a much better shot at making the pass than where he's at right now.
So 20 laps in, and we're basically right where we started.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Daytona's known to do this as it once again getting a little bit dicey. That 9 just about caught the left rear fender of that 10 truck, and I think that just let the 24 get away a little bit more.
See how close they get here. Black Rifle Coffee Company closing in on Garza Law Firm.
You can see the 10 right there. Pull down a little bit. Try to get a little side draft. Whoa. Easy, boys. Don't want to do that too many times. I don't know if Rinker's trying to set Chris Myers up for something or what's going on.
723 gets into Schoenbachler, and he goes around. Eli Raposa gets hit. Dane Backler into the wall as well.
Looks like Eli caught the 850 as well coming back up.
Yeah.
And that is going to really make things interesting.
Wait, see if I can't. I have to go back a little further here.
Now let's see how this broke down.
Right here. Oh, the 723 gets loose as he was trying to come back down to get behind the 10.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to fully get down there, if he just got a little bit loose in the tri-oval.
Oh, and that was so close there.
Yeah, and as the 64 is trying to straighten out, he'll end up slamming doors with the 850 and sending him around.
So,
I don't know how much.
I was going to say 7 trucks on the racetrack and 4 of them involved in that caution.
Yeah, I don't know how much damage the 64 or the 850 will have, but that Toyota, that 33 truck is pretty tore up. I mean, good news is with the fast repair, he should be okay, but yeah, a couple of hard licks right there.
Yeah, missing a right front fender.
The whole left side got tore up. I think there's a couple of chicken breasts hanging out the window. It's hurt.
Yep. He will take his fast repair and get back out on the track. Let's see if I can get you Chris Myers up here.
Hey, Chris, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, looks like you've been pretty stout in that 24 truck, leading a handful of laps so far early on. How are things looking out there with you?
It's looking pretty good. Getting a lot of help from the back. Mike Rinker's been pushing me pretty good, and Josh has been racing me pretty good on the outside there.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have been, nose to tail and side to side quite a few times. It's been a thrill to watch up here. So, with this caution, what exactly you got strategy-wise for the end of this race?
Looking like we're still going to have to pit one more time for fuel, so I think just pitting here is going to shorten the last stop by not having to put as much fuel in it. If we do have a green flag stop, if we get another caution, I don't think it's really going to matter. Then we'll be able to run it out green. We won't have to worry about stopping under green.
Right. And it seems like the tire wear doesn't seem to be that much of an issue right now.
No, I don't think so. We kind of contemplated taking tires or not, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a factor. And if it is, we've only got one more set in the pits, so I'd rather wait and see if we get another caution. I'd rather take them later on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for coming up and yapping with us. You'll be restarting third here. Good to see you come back up to the front and see how this race plays out for you.
All right, guys. I look forward to putting on a show. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, he brings up a point dealing with the tires. It doesn't seem like there's that much of a drop-off handling-wise with these things. So, this could just be fuel stops, but again, with a caution, you never know.
Yeah, I think they're basically coming through just getting fuel. Like there was a couple guys that spent a little extra time in the pits, but I don't know that they took tires or not. They might have just fixed their damage there. Especially like you said, with one set in the pits.
Yeah, I think probably the trucks that weren't all that tore up are probably just getting the damage manually fixed because they want to save the, if they have it, they want to save that fast repair for later on in the race in case they do get extremely tore up. And I think the 9 is dropping to the back.
Like everybody's spread out here as they're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. See if everybody can make their way back to the back of the field here. Right now, there's only 4 trucks as everybody's trying to get back out of the pits and catch back up to the field.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to make it. It's just, like I say, it looks like the 9 got nailed for a penalty on pit road. Now, if it was a bigger field, I'd be more concerned, but as fast as that truck is, I think he'll be all right.
Well, thing is how Shane Backler there took his fast repair. He's one of the faster trucks on the track, and the 9 is one of the better pushers. I don't know that there's anywhere else you'd rather be than right behind that 33 machine.
Yeah, definitely. That 33 has been lights out quick all race long, and it seems like there's only one truck starting on the outside. That could be a problem.
Oh, everybody had penalties or entered closed pits as that pace car makes that left-hand turn. Hilar Raposo's up on the high side all alone. Terrett Hill is going to lead him back to green as he is down and away. See if Raposo can get down behind here in third, and he will do just that. So Terrett Hill, Chris Myers, and Eli Raposo single file out.
Well, that saves me from singing Lonely Road because he was about to be on a real lonely one out there on the top side. And the 24 is all over the back bumper of the leader pushing him. Myers has been fast all race long, and Josh in that 10 truck has been lightning quick as well. But here comes Chris going back for the lead now.
And Chris Myers trying to get out there. Raposo and Terrett Hill working together once again. And don't look now, but Mike Rinker is on that high line, third back there right behind Chris Myers. Almost even with him as they're 3 wide there for second place.
Oh, so still a little bit too early to be doing that, boys. I'd be a little bit more careful. There you go.
Looks like Raposo tipped the apron there, but able to keep it under control. Terrett Hill still leading, but Myers and Rinker hooked back up. So even though everything shook up, they are still the same 4 cars racing for the front.
It doesn't take long. The best cars, best trucks, it doesn't matter what it is, will always find their way to the front at Daytona in a handful of laps. They always figure out how to get through the field. Look at the guys that are prominent at Daytona: Earnhardt, Gordon, Petty, Pearson, Yarborough. They always had the cars that would be sitting up at the front for the majority of the race for one reason. They knew how to get them there. Same case here.
Yeah, I almost think, I don't know, I've heard it a few times. You know, every time NASCAR now comes to one of these super speedway plate tracks, oh, it's all luck. You just have to be in the right place at the right time or whatever. Well, that's almost a slap in the face to some of those drivers who have won multiple times. It's like, were they really that lucky? Well, I think more so they just had the skill to get their truck or car where they needed to be in order to get that win.
Restrictor plate racing is like chess. You just got to be able to outmaneuver your opponent and be able to be right there at the end to be able to take the win. You have a lot more luck on the short tracks not getting tore up than what you do at the super speedways, because the top guys are always in front of the big wrecks. This is, you know, like I said, prime examples: Earnhardt, Gordon, Petty, Yarborough, guys like that were always ahead of the big wrecks, and when it was their time to shine, they were able to bring it home. It ain't luck. It's just playing chess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just don't ask Josh Berry about the damaged vehicle policy either.
Yeah, I end up in the infield partying with everybody while everyone else gets pushed back. What in the world is going on here? NASCAR needs to fix that.
Just a little bit. They can't have two different sets of rules.
No, they really can't, but they've got bigger fish to fry first before they worry about that.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out first.
Exactly. As I said on the morning show when I covered this, NASCAR did the worst thing possible, and that's piss off somebody whose brand is bigger than theirs.
Yeah. I don't know.
Meanwhile, up front,
I saw those responses. It's kind of funny. Parrot Hill
I know,
and
right?
Raposa just getting away, though.
yeah, and they're making that high side work for them because they're able to keep the speeds up more. It's almost like running qualifying laps and just have somebody behind you, pushing you even quicker. But that inside line's starting to get established a little bit. As a 64, looks like he scraped the wall a little bit there.
Yeah, it looks like they were running that high line, got a little bit loose there as the 64 did clip the wall. The 723 goes from the high side to the bottom side, and Miles Morris is going to lead here.
Yeah, first time we've seen that truck sitting out front tonight. He's kind of been in the middle of the mayhem, and now he's finally able to get the truck out front. Let's see if they were able to fix the problem of being loose in the corners here, because he's had a little bit of an evil issue with that truck all night long.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit better here if he's out in front. I think most of his issue was being behind somebody trying to push them, and just like that, Chris Myers jumps clear up to the high side trying to take the lead as everybody else single filed out.
Yeah, I don't think Chris is going to get a whole lot of help, or at least immediately. He's door to door with them, but he doesn't have anyone directly behind him, and it's not going to work out well for that 24 truck.
No, definitely is not going to work out. As you see Tarrant Hill look to the high side, trying to maybe get up there behind Myers there, just couldn't do it. Duck back in line, and they are single file mostly.
We say that now, but next thing you know, they're going to come down the back straightaway, and everyone will be side by side. As a matter of fact, here comes the 64 now.
And the 64 stayed out, just kind of rode his way along, and now he is getting to that rear bumper of Chris Myers. And they are moving forward in a hurry.
Yeah, finally gets there, and Chris Myers gets the lead and drops down to the bottom, leaving the 64 out to dry. And I mean, that's kind of what you have to do around here. Is once you end up getting clear, the next thing you have to do is just drop down to the bottom and just protect the inside, because if you give up the inside, you're cooked, because then it turns into a freight train going around you. So can't really say I blame the 24. It's just, you know, the Eli in that 64 truck will end up remembering that later, I'm sure. And yes, I'm saying drivers have really good memories. They're like elephants. Remember, Jimmy Spencer never forgot.
64, Raposa slides clear outside again. Like he was having to run as they were entering the tri-oval. Just nobody goes with him, so he's up by himself once again.
And it's not going to work out well for him. He's lucky he might be able to slide in behind the 33 because the 10's got enough of a gap, but I think Eli's just trying to figure out what he can do right now to try to make moves if he gets the opportunity. It's just not working out for him right now. So he's building the notebook, but there's a lot of red ink saying this doesn't work.
Yeah, he's falling back once again. See if maybe he slides in. I was going to say slides in behind Tarrant Hill, but Michael Brooks closed that gap in a hurry, too.
Yeah, he did. He might be able to slide in. Well, he's going to actually be able to slide in behind the 10 of Tarrant, but all that did was separate this pack up a little bit because those front three trucks are lined up and trying to pull away.
Well, they
I
were.
say that, they split up. What are you guys doing to me tonight? Come on.
Yeah, Every time we say something, they do the opposite. It's one of those curses that always happens.
There must be a full moon coming the way this is going.
Well, we did hear from a couple drivers that they said they're going to have to pit one more time here before the end of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see when they decide to come down. If they have about 20 laps of fuel, you know, how close to that 20 are they going to come? Are they going to come down pretty quick, or are they going to try and stay out as long as they can and maybe hope for that little bit of caution or something to come out, make it a little easier to get on that pit lane?
I think, honestly, it's looking like it's going to be one of those. The first one to come in is going to bring everybody in. It's just a matter of who and when. And I honestly believe that these guys are going to try to run this thing as long as possible. Try to extend it to where if there is a yellow, they don't have to come down pit road. As here comes Eli for the lead.
Eli inside outside makes his way to the front, getting pushed there by Miles Morris. Like he had enough of being up in the high line, and now he takes advantage.
I was saying the guy was building a notebook with a lot of red ink. Apparently he found a black ink and found something that worked. I wouldn't get too far off the bottom. You can open up that door, and next thing you know, it's going to be 3 wide, Eli. I keep that door closed, buddy.
Miles Morris hanging out here as well. Chris Myers just off of that right rear quarter. I'm kind of surprised that Mike Renker here is not. Mike Renker here is not sliding up behind Chris Myers to try and give him a little shove to the front, as they are almost into each other 3 wide there, as it looked like Miles Morris lost control of that truck for just a second, trying to fit it in where it shouldn't go, and he did just that, and Chris Myers pulls left and goes right down behind Eli Raposa.
Oh, it's getting a little shaky up here now. Miles Morris is making a couple of moves that I'd shake my head about, because that could have ended real bad.
I think he's probably lucky that Chris Morris saw that come and decided to maybe tap the brakes, let off the throttle just a bit to give him room, and then right back on it and go down to the bottom.
Yeah, and that's called cutting somebody a major break. Now, if this was 5 laps to go, I don't see a break being cut.
No, I think that's when that 723 machine goes nose first in that outside wall.
Yeah, somebody will end up getting a snapshot they'll put on Instagram saying, hey, this thing's destroyed. Look at this. Click. I wonder why people don't usually sit in the first few rows at Daytona. There's a reason for it.
That's where all the action is.
Yeah, well, you also don't want to get hit with flying fiberglass.
No.
I still remember Ernie Irvin's hood getting ripped off his car in '97 going down the back straightaway. So, again, showing my age.
Chris Myers down on the bottom. Looks like he's going to hook up with Mike Renker once again. Eli Raposa up high with Miles Morris.
Oh, Morris is trying to split up those two.
Morris is making some moves.
Yeah. In a way, he's being smart about things, because we can split up the 24 and the 9. You know, it's a better position, because he knows those two, if they link up, it's game over. So what he's doing is relatively smart, but at the same token, it's very risky, because he might make the move with someone's just barely there and end up turning himself off their front bumper.
He must have a great spotter, because I don't know if he would have waited another half a second if that gap would have still been there for him to fit that machine in.
No, I don't think it would have been, as we're coming up on just inside 20 laps to go. Now, the bigger thing is I'm also looking at the speeds these guys are running, and we are about, I want to say 2 seconds off of the lead, off of our best laps so far. So my question is, are these guys also saving a lot of fuel?
I would almost say that that they're just not driving as fast because they're not that too wide, three rows deep that we saw when they were getting those speeds, and everybody keeps getting kind of cut off from their dancing partner, so they're just working with who's around them.
I say that, and then everybody shuts me up by running 48 fours and 48 fives. Really?
Yeah,
Makes me wonder sometimes. As it looks like Miles Morris is about to get shuffled to the back of the pack again.
$17 to go.
And it looks like 24 and 64 have hooked up, and they're trying to put a little bit of a cap on everybody. It's just not going to work because that field is still pretty well attached to them.
Everybody's still pretty well hanging on here. Looks like Josh Hill was going to try and go up and get with that 723. They all single filed back out. And just as I say that, Miles Morris goes up to the high side, going to try again to get up towards the front.
Yeah, the only problem is he doesn't have a dancing partner to go with him.
Well, I think if we stay green and we get those green flag pit stops, everybody's going to come down at the same time. If not, if only two drivers come down first, then I believe they're probably going to be in the catbird seat as far as winning this race.
Oh, easily, because they'll be the two that start the domino effect, and then they can just link up and run a couple of laps together and blow by everybody as they're getting ready to come back up to speed. The question is, how much fuel are you going to take on? Because if you think it's only going to go to the scheduled finish of 60 laps, you're only going to be sitting there for about a second or two. But if you got a feeling that you're looking at maybe a possibility of a green-white checker or two, you're looking at maybe 10 or 12 laps of fuel. So the question is, how much do you take on this final stop?
Well, yeah, that is definitely something that you're thinking too. But if you're Miles Morris, you've got to be kind of thinking or having your ear wide open on that radio, listening to see if anybody's going to come to pit lane. And as he gets back in line, because I was going to say he was up there basically by himself up on that high line, and he could have been really hung out to dry if everybody else was coming down pit lane and he was by himself out on the track.
Yeah, the big thing is you got your ear on the radio, and you kind of have an eye sitting above the mirror for the text chat. So some guys also put in the text that they're coming in, so kind of got your eye darting up a little bit, but you've got your ear listening to see when everyone else is going to come in as well. So it's kind of a mind game of who's going to do what, because we've also seen people get deked out before. So it's just a matter of who you believe and if they actually do it.
As we're getting close here to the finish, coming up on 13 laps to go. Want to thank the Landscape Company for sponsoring the truck series here, the Super Trucks of SCL. If you go to their website or TikTok channel, you can definitely check them out. You saw them earlier in our commercial breaks. Tell them Tillman sent you in. They'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, definitely.
So they've went a lot further than I thought they were going to. I thought somebody was going to try and come down here, with 15 or so laps to go, maybe 16. But everybody's
Mhm.
staying out. I think everybody's just going to stay out until they can't anymore.
Yeah, they're going to stay out until the red light starts flashing in the gauge saying, hey, you're not out of fuel. Get down here. Just a matter of what lap that's going to be as we're getting ready to hit 12 to go. And looking at the lap times, they are starting to slow down just a little bit. So there could be a little bit of fuel conservation mode going on here. As Miles Morris is playing the Pied Piper, trying to keep everybody and their brother behind him as we're getting towards the end of this race. As smart of a strategy that might be, there could be a little bit of a backfire involved because he could try to end up opening that door if he moves a little bit too late. And taking a look at the lap times now, yeah, everyone's running a little bit slower. So there is definitely a fuel conservation going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. And as we're watching that battle, we also see that Shane Backler and Josh Terrett-Hill are slowly coming to the front, trying to pick their way through the field.
Yeah, it's just they really don't have a lane to use right now because Chris Myers is occupying the high side, trying to make a move on Eli. And that's going to keep everyone else bottlenecked up behind him. And right now, Miles Morris is loving this.
Just checked in on Discord and getting some pictures from Matt Metler, who's down there in Florida, of the destruction that the tornadoes have thrown out there, and it is pretty devastating from what we're seeing here.
Yeah, that hurricane packed a huge wallop. I mean, it was at a Cat 5 earlier in the week, and I think it hit land at, I think, either a wicked high category 3 or a low category 4. As Miles Morris ends up picking up a little bit of a lead, leaving Eli behind him. Here we go. Pit stops are happening right now, and it's Miles Morris, the only one to come down.
Oh. So I was thinking it'd be almost the opposite, that Miles Morris was the only one not to come down because he was up in that high line, but it looked like almost everybody thought about coming down as Miles Morris came to pit lane, but Chris Myers was staying out, and everybody said, well, we'll stay out with him. So
Yep. And unfortunately, that's just going to leave Miles to be 16-second pit stop time. So I think he took on a lot of fuel and fresh tires. As it seems like everyone else is staying out for another lap.
8 to go. It will definitely be just a splash and go if they have to get fuel.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the lap times again. They've dropped down to 51 seconds. So these guys are also conserving to the point where they may not want to come down pit road. They may be trying to save to just be able to make it to lap 60.
Well, you got to think that Shane Backler and Terrett-Hill, they were in the back the whole time. They were just kind of hanging out, just kind of cruising. So they might have been able to save enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, the speeds are down to about 180, 182 miles an hour right now with these trucks. And they're definitely giving themselves a lot more room just in case something goes on. So they're in cruise control mode right now, just clicking laps off as we are down to 7 to go. I say that, and it starts to become very interesting up at the front.
That's good. It's definitely getting that way as Michael Brooks is trying to get back to the front. He's been up front most of the time, but he's been having a connection issue. Elected to go back to the back of the field, log laps, just hang out, and now he is getting pushed by John Shanebackler to the front.
Yeah, that 33 has been lightning quick all race long, and it doesn't surprise me to see him shoving someone else back up to the lead. As, again, these guys are only running right around 50.2, 50.3. No, I stand corrected, 50.5. So, again, there is fuel saving going on. It's just a matter now of who saves how much.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Miles Morris, you came down because you thought everybody else was going to have to come down. So you might as well take your 4 tires, get fuel, and try and drive the wheels off that thing. You're not going to be as fast, though, because you're single car. So you just have to hope.
Yeah, right now he's running 51.82 by himself. The field, even with fuel saving, is running 50.5, 50.6. So he's going to get eaten up here before too much longer.
Yeah, you can see him out the front window there. As it is the handshake lap, 5 to go.
And the wick has turned back up again because everyone clocked in right around 49 seconds. So the wick has turned back up.
Yeah, definitely. You either heard your spotter just say, you're not going to make it, you're going to have to come in, or you heard the, oh, we're good to go.
Yeah, the biggest question is who's got the green light and who's going to have to come down late. There's the answer right there. There goes Morris. There goes Chris in the 24 down pit road.
Well, he was battling up front a lot of the time, so he definitely used a lot more fuel than the rest of these drivers here. See if Miles Morris can get in line here and grab this toe. Looks like he might be able to.
Yeah, he's just on the fringe of it as Myers only takes about 6 seconds on his stop, so he's only got a few laps of fuel in that truck. He might have been able to put up enough to possibly figure on a green-white checker in case something happens here, because we've seen issues coming on pit road before, so it wouldn't surprise me to see another one.
Everybody's staying out, and we're going to get the 3 to go now. Brooks, Shanebackler, Rinker, and Terrett Hill.
I'm on the edge of my seat for this one because now it's getting to be go time and seeing who's actually got enough. That 33 truck may surprise everybody yet. Remember, earlier in this race, he had to use his fast repair because he got the front end of that KFC Toyota knocked clean off. And here he is late trying to, get himself a win here at Daytona.
Yeah, and if you're Michael Brooks, maybe that connection issue was the best thing that happened to you as you moved to the back. You just kind of hung out there, and now late in the race, 2 to go, and you're leading the race.
Yeah, it could have been a saving grace at the end of the day, but now the problem is you got 3 of the fastest trucks behind you. Do you have anything to hold them off? As that 10 truck by himself made a huge move to the outside to try to take over the lead.
The 723 truck might not win the race, but he might get to decide who wins the race.
It wouldn't surprise me any if that 723 plays a factor. I mean, some people are going to be like, well, why doesn't he just drop to the back? In case anything happens, he still may have a chance to get himself a lead lap finish. But as they're getting ready to come out of turns 3 and 4, the popsicle sticks are going to go down. The white flag is going to go up. We are going to decide a winner here at Daytona.
Shanebackler coming down pit lane.
He couldn't make it. The 850 drops to the back.
Who has enough? Does Terrett Hill save enough fuel? Does Mike Rinker have enough to make it to the end? Those 2 trucks seem like the only 2 that have the power here, or will Michael Brooks be able to steal it from 3rd?
Coming down the back straightaway, Terrett Hill is running right where he needs to be, right against the bottom. The 9 tries to make a move up to the top. He almost runs the 850 into the fence. Coming through 3 and 4. We're about to have ourselves a dynamic Daytona finish. Oh, big move by the 9.
10's out of
10
fuel.
went out of gas.
Sideways.
Oh! Who won?
Michael Brooks.
Michael Brooks picks up a win in a wild fashion.
Tara Hill trying to save enough fuel, runs out of gas 100 yards from the finish line. Michael Brooks and Mike Rinker go door to door, both sideways across the finish line. Let's take a look and see how that looked one more time.
All right, coming out of 3 and 4 here, you'll see the 10 truck right about there, sputter. Right there, you see the flames come out. The 850 goes to the bottom, 9 to the top. As the 850 comes back up to make it to the track, he and the 9 slammed doors. The 9 in the outside fence, and the 850 was able to hold it straight enough to pick up the win through the tri-oval grass.
Well,
are we serious?
I just noticed something here. Watch the 9. Okay, the 10's out right there. Watch the 9 right here. Right now. He's out of
loose.
fuel.
Oh, he ran out too. Unbelievable.
The 850's out too. He can't even make a burnout.
Nah, that thing's cooked. Have you ever? Wow.
Man. Michael Brooks wins. Looks like he's rolling a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough fuel, though. He's going to need the push truck to get him back there.
All right. Well, while he is doing that, let's see if we can get third place up here in the booth. The man who makes this place run, Josh. Oh, he's getting a little push there, a little help.
Yeah, Chris giving him a push back to pit road.
Yeah. Chris had to come down late. Eli Raposa came down late. Shane Backler also came down late. So crazy finish here. But let's see if I can get you Josh up here in the booth.
Hey, Josh, it's Shane up at the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Shane, what are you doing?
I'm catching my breath after that crazy finish, dude. Tell me about that ending. We saw you run out of gas. I saw the flames come out the pipes about 100 yards from the finish. That was just wild, dude.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't make it. I saw Brooks pull in the pits with 1 to go before that restart, so he had got some more fuel than I did. And I started out leading that final run there, and I figured really quick I wasn't going to make it. So you see me jump to the back, try and be 3/4 throttle, half throttle as much as I could, save enough. And then with like 4 laps to go, the crew chief on iRacing said, hey, you got 5 laps of fuel left. So I'm like, yeah, I might be all right. And then right as I came across the line for 2 to go, he said, you got 2 laps of fuel left. So I said, hell, I can make it all the way back to the line. So then I started going, got up to the lead. Then I started lifting a little bit, so I thought I might run out. And then coming off of 4, I ran out. But it was, I mean, with only 7 trucks running at the end, at least we had some fun. I sent Chris around to get Brooks. I don't know if he would or not. See if he can push him back here.
Yeah, we saw.
I had to get pushed back to the line to get an interview.
Yeah, Chris was giving you that shove towards the end there where I was watching that. First, I also got to say, dude, seeing that Valvoline paint scheme, I'm a fan of the history of NASCAR. Seeing that paint scheme under the lights here brings back so many memories for me, to be honest with you.
Thank you. You know which way paint scheme it is?
I'm looking at the 2001 Benson paint job.
Yep.
And my first thoughts, man, the '01 Pepsi 400, that should have been for him. So, like I said, being a fan of the history of NASCAR, that paint scheme actually does mean a lot. So it's great to see it out on track represented well. Before we let you go to celebrate this wild and crazy third place finish, who do you want to thank helps you get it done on that 10 truck tonight?
Just everybody in the league for coming out. We're gonna try and get some more people out here next week and fill the field a little better than we did this week. Sorry about that, guys, but just everybody that helps out in the league in any way possible. Adam Lowe, he's a huge help. Doing some of the back end stuff. Joshua Yarbrough, all those guys. And then Tillman Hewer, he puts a lot of money into this. Helps you guys come on board, so thank you for helping him out and run his commercials. Try and get him a little bit of support. So, and then you guys, thanks for coming out here and spending your night with us.
Hey, man, with a finish like this, it was an absolute pleasure. Trust me. We will definitely see you next time around. And trust me, I'm actually still mulling coming on in November for that SRX style idea you had.
Okay, I hope you do, Tony.
Oh, gee, thanks. At least it ain't Paul Tracy. I'll take it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
All right.
First time I've been called Tony Stewart.
Get Franker up here. Hey, Mike. Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Well, for 7 trucks, you guys definitely know how to finish a race here. What were you thinking coming to the checkered there, as you guys look like you ran out of fuel like 50 yards before the checkers?
Yeah, I knew I was cutting it really close. We kept playing a game where we were on the throttle hard, and I'd lose it. Like I just wouldn't have enough fuel, and then I'd have to save, and then back and forth, and I'm like, man, I'm really close. I think I got it all the way to the line, and as soon as I ran out of gas, man, I cut a hard left trying to get into the 850, at least to disrupt him enough to where I could cross the line in front of him, but wasn't quite enough. So, but yeah, a lot of fun.
Definitely. Well, you were able to look like you had some fun earlier in the minis and ran here. I mean, what do you think about these double feature on Wednesday nights?
Oh, I love the double feature. It's gives you a little bit of a mix up, you know. I mean, it's pretty dramatically different, the mini stocks, you know, at a short track to the truck series here. So it's nice. It's fun. I really enjoy it. So
definitely, man. Well, anybody you got to thank before we get you out of here for your second place finish?
I'd just really like to thank everybody that puts this on. You guys in the booth, everybody at the SCL that puts this on, everybody that sponsors it. It's really awesome. Really job well done, guys. I really enjoy it every week.
Definitely, man. Well, thanks again, and congratulations on your P2 finish, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks. Good talking to you guys.
All right. We can get race winner up here in the booth for you. But we'll drag him up here in the booth anyway.
Hey, made the best of it, even though it was a small field.
Hey, Michael, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yo, what's up, man?
Talk about a crazy finish, man. Walk us through that final lap, because we were all on the edge of our seats for that one.
Well, with about 10 to go, I kind of thought I was good on fuel compared to the rest of the field, so I decided to push it, make everyone else possibly run out. But to my dismay, I got passed with about half a lap to go, 1 to go, and thought I was good. But it looks like I was.
Yeah, the 10 ran out with about 100 yards to go, and then the 9 ran out with 50 to go, and you end up crossing the line through the tri-oval grass after that contact with a 9. Man, talk about a wild and crazy finish to this race. Even with a small field, you guys put on a whale of a show.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, that last pit stop, I topped off with 1 to go, and I kind of just hung out in the back. I had a little internet trouble at the beginning of the race, so I didn't want to ruin anybody's race. So it kind of helped out with me saving some fuel in the back there.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on that. I was also keeping an eye on that paint job of yours, being, again, a historic NASCAR fan. Seeing that Bobby Allison paint job in Victory Lane at Daytona means a little something special.
Heck yeah, man. I'm a little older now, so I appreciate those older paint schemes for sure.
Well, before we let you celebrate this wild and crazy victory, who helps you get it done on that 850 you want to thank tonight?
Well, John, he pushed me there with about 10 to go, and we used to race together on NASCAR Heat before we came over to iRacing. So I appreciate John pushing me there when he knew he would probably run out there. So I appreciate John for sure.
All right, well, celebrate this win, man. We will see you guys next week for another exciting double feature, it seems like.
All right, man. I appreciate everybody who puts this on. I had a great time.
All right, have a good one, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that
I got
does
catch
it
my breath after that.
on the interview portion. We'll go through the short field here. Michael Brooks, Mike Rinker, Josh Hart-Hill. Chris Myers led a lot of the race, had to come down pit lane to get some fuel. Eli Raposa as well. John Shanebackler gave Michael Brooks a little shove before he made his way down pit lane. Miles Morris rolled through pit lane early in the run, wound up a lap down, and then we also had 3 drivers that did not start. But for 7 drivers, they sure knew how to put on a show.
Oh my goodness, man! I gotta catch my breath after that one. That was a great finish. That was exactly what Daytona shapes up for, especially if you're, trying to save fuel towards the end of a race. Exactly this moment can happen, and the 850 was able to capitalize on 2 trucks in front of them right at the end, running out.
Take a look one more time here. Because why
You'll
not?
You see the flames come out of the 10, and then right there you see the 9 just barely run out. And if the 723 hit him any straighter, he probably would have been across the line first. But the way that he got hit just ended up turning him clean around. So if this is how the truck season's going to start, these next handful of races are going to be wild.
Yeah, they definitely are. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up tonight's double feature here. From all of the drivers here of the SCL Racing League and all of us at Sim Racing Media, want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next time.
Until we meet again, everybody, take care.